What's happening, people? Now, the title of the video is The Premium Bandai Hate Warranted. Now, to answer that question, both yes and no. I know it sounds like BS, but roll with me. So let's start with one of the most common critiques that I usually hear about premium Bandai exclusives. And this is usually from people where the premium Bandai just straight up doesn't ship to their country. So they'll always have to pay even more money than usual on top of an already expensive figure. They got to pay even more money than that to get it shipped to their country. So why is that? Because, like I said, it doesn't ship from premium Bandai, so they'll have to go to a store like Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth and pay those prices. And as we can see, they can increase quite dramatically. So for example, Metal Cooler, oh man, that's a whole discussion in itself, and we've had this discussion, but Metal Cooler was absolutely ridiculous in price. Like, Metal Cooler is, I don't know, I can't think of the justification for that price. It was $120 baseline retail price, premium Bandai, and then if you went somewhere like Big Bad Toy Store, it was what, 170 something? So, and this is a figure that's not coming with a whole lot. Now, to be fair, the figure looks awesome. It looks great, but it doesn't look 170 something dollars great, or even 120 something dollars great. Future Bombastic here, editing the video, and I just wanted to say, you know, as much as I'm complaining about the price and critiquing the price, people are willing to pay the price. So to a certain extent, there's only so much we as the consumer can complain about the price, you know, if we're going to keep on paying for these exorbitant prices, because really at the end of the day, we vote with our dollars. I'm not saying that it makes it right, but that's how it works. This should have been a $60 figure, maybe $70. 70 is pushing it, but I'm getting off topic. But I guess we could stay on the pricing. It seems that the pricing of premium, nobody's ever happy with premium Bandai because also the pricing. Now this could get a little tricky because one could look at it and say, and this is like a comment, I'm gonna roughly paraphrase what this commenter said. He was like, yo, we kept complaining about premium Bandai, but we'll pay like prices that Kong Studios, who has, you know, maybe Kong Studio hasn't had the best quality control, but in my own personal experience, I can't speak for everybody, they've definitely gotten a lot better with the QC. A lot better with the QC, for sure. Now, one thing I'll say about what Kong Studios is, they definitely, at the very least, it's not figures that you may need to round out your collection. For example, you don't need a Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. You don't need a Super Saiyan, not Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, Super Saiyan Blue 3 Kaioken Goku to complete your collection. That's just a nice icing on the cake. You don't need Super Saiyan 5 Evil Goku to complete your collection. That's just icing on the cake. Catch my drift? Like, Heroes characters are icing on the cake. They're not characters that you need, so it's okay if they're a little bit exclusive. You feel me? So with that being said, we can look at that as almost a criteria for even premium Bandai. So what that takes me to is a character like Yamcha. Yamcha, and even Yamcha, Gohan Beast, and Orange Piccolo, I don't think should have been premium Bandai exclusives. Now, where I'm going with this is that I shouldn't, like, characters that would round out the collection because they're going to make more than one appearance, and not only that, but they're going to have significant appearances, shouldn't be premium Bandai exclusives. Yamcha is a Z fighter. You see him in the intro up until maybe the Buu Saga. You might stop seeing him at the end of the intro where they show the main cast. Yamcha should not have been a premium Bandai exclusive, but it was. Now some people could say to that, well, maybe they're doing it because certain characters won't sell as well. Like Yamcha might not sell as well, so we're gonna make a limited quantity and then sell that limited quantity out. Now if that was the case, which I used to believe that to be the case, then why are Orange Piccolo and Gohan Beast on Premium Bandai? That's where things start to get tricky, because I'm almost certain those would have sold out. They had the hype of the movie going behind it. And then on top of that, for Gohan and Piccolo, two characters that have been long awaiting new power-ups that were significant. So I feel like that's where that argument might fall a little flat. Now, what else? So just going more in depth with the criteria for a Premium Bandai, or at least what I think it should be. You guys could disagree, and feel free to disagree. Characters that don't make many appearances in the show, which is, I think, most movie characters fit that criteria. Now, some could look at it as being offset by a level of popularity, and a good example of that would be Broly, where he's just so significantly more popular than I would say most of the other movie characters, even fairly popular characters like Cooler or Janemba. Broly, of course, he's a Saiyan Cell, he's edgy, well, at least the Z1 was, but there's, you know, little caveats like that, and of course caveats like Orange Piccolo, Gohan Beast, which that caveat is mainly due to Dragon Ball Super Hero and these canonized movies being extensions of the anime for all intent and purposes. So that's why they get that leeway of, well, I would say they should be a general release. But yeah, I would say most movie characters, with the exception of those caveats, of course. And then, of course, if it's like an alternate outfit. If it's an alternate outfit, we might see him in that outfit one time, like I mentioned in my Buu Saga video, where I was just going through all the Cell Saga stuff that we'd have to go through. Maybe something like the Battle Armor Goku and Gohan. I would be alright with that being a Premium Bandai exclusive. Now, some people could look at that as significant, but then it's not like an outfit that they wore all the time. Like, they wore it all the time when they were training, but that's about it. That's the only time we ever see them, when they're in the Room of Spirit and Time with that uniform on. When Goku in casual clothing, that would be a fair Premium Bandai, you know? So these are just some of the things to consider, I would consider about it. Now, I think one thing that definitely needs to be discussed is, for example, going back to Yamcha. Alright, fine. Yamcha or whatever, he's a Premium Bandai. But when we look at something like that brand new Goku that was revealed, he was revealed and he has a brand new sculpt, brand new articulation. He has the free-floating wristband. He has a soft crotch material so he can kick higher. So they really updated the engineering and sculpting on this figure. And he's cheaper than a reused mold. Now one could look at it and say, well, at least I'm paying less than I would in aftermarket prices. But that's kind of not the point. This should have been a general release. Even the original Yamcha should have been a general release. All Z Fighters should have been an original release, in my opinion. But like I said, one could look at it and be like, hey, they don't think these characters would sell that well, so they're not going to make them a general release where they're going to have a much larger quantity. But I don't know. I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. But yeah, I think I've covered everything I want to cover. Pricing, why the hate. Oh, I really hope I'm not forgetting anything, but I'm gonna listen to this back and see for sure. Anyways, with all that being said, this has been Bombastic Plastic. Stay fantastic. So now we're in overtime, and I just wanted to debunk a theory that I put forth in like a previous video. And what I was saying, that, you know, one thing that you could tell about Premium Bandai is that if the figure is going to come with an accessory for another figure, it's most likely going to be a Premium Bandai. And I still agree with that notion. However, I agree with I disagree with the fact that it has to be specifically that the characters have interacted with each other. So, for example, I was saying, like, you see how not Dr. Gero, Yamcha came with a hand for Dr. Gero, where it's going through his chest. So I was like, oh, if you could think of a scene where the character interacted with another character, they can include that with said character. So, a hypothetical example, Mr. Satan coming with an Android 16 head, because he threw it in the show to motivate Gohan to turn into a Super Saiyan 2. That's what I mean. But what debunks this is the Dragon Ball, the Superhero Ultimate Gohan, where, for example, he has a windswept hair that comes with the new Broly figure that's coming out, what, next month or this month? Next month, I believe. But the thing is, they never interacted, so that completely destroys that theory. That's all I wanted to put forth. Until next time, this has been Bombastic Plastic. Stay fantastic.